Hi, everyone. Welcome to On Air with the Artist. My name is Emily Correa, and this is CreativityMuze TV, presented by Innova X. I'm here with two amazing artists of the band, LA's NOCH. So definitely introduce yourself. Yay, episode 1.
So excited to be here. My name is Kris. I am a producer, DJ, and guitar player in NOCH.
I'm Suzanne, and I'm the lyricist and singer.
So how did you guys meet? I know you came from two different genres of music, and are you guys originally from LA, or what's your story? How did you get into music?
I'm from New York. Say that loud and proud. He's from New Jersey, so we get the both. I'm like, let's just be clear. No, I'm from New York. He's from New Jersey, and we both came from very different backgrounds. I was in a
R&B blues band.
Yeah, but even prior to that, I did rock hip hop hybrid group like when I was in high school, and then I was in a blues rock band for a while.
That's different.
I was doing post-hardcore music when we met. Mm-hmm. Skrillex brought us together because I was playing a festival opening slot that he was headlining on. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, we're doing very different things. She was trying to build her resume and seeing how I was booking these bigger shows and doing a bunch of touring and stuff. And then, like most music and bands, things kind of fell apart in our individual projects. And we just saw a chance to do something different, to get out of the full band and explore this electronic music, and it's been fun.
House music, oh my God. What's the difference between the music scene in New York City and then the music scene in LA? Because I've lived in New York City as well, and I've lived in Miami, now I'm in Chicago, I've been in Boston, I love LA. What's the difference in the scene? Because this is different type of people or industry, or not? Am I wrong?
I know you really don't know until you're there, until you're involved in it, because we were back in New York, playing all over the place. Mm-hmm. And, it just, the scene kind of changed around there. Not as many people were going out to see live music or discover live music in that sense anymore. You know how everything's online right now. So it just wasn't the same. Plus you play around the same circuits for a while.
I think New York is more of you need to have that name behind you before people care. There's so much going on in that city. Yeah. Just expect the best.
With the exception every single of a few places. There were some good places.
LA has more of I think they're a little more nurturing when you're getting started, and in general, more looking to find something new. Whereas New York is like, you don't have a name, we have everything else going here anyway. Not saying it's a snooty place. It's just, it seems that, it's just New York. It's the biggest of the big.
So because you have to stand out so much, you have to have this big name. So in New York, you have to be like, boom. But versus in LA, it's more maybe, I don't know, collaborative, or it's like more.
Finding a little more people more interested.
New York's kind of hardcore. You're right.
Well, we're in Long Beach, so it's just definitely like a smaller community, and everybody's very supportive of each other. Mm-hmm. However, it is more concentrated on rock and roll than it is electronic music.
Wow. So
but online it does thrive.
Wow. So who are your music influences? So I know you have different tastes in your music interests and influences, and
I mean, when it comes to writing what we do, I spend a lot of time just going through different people's mixes and mixtapes and compilations. I try to take from what's out there. I mean, people like deadmau5, Skrillex, Porter Robinson are really the ones we love.
Love them.
Yeah.
Yes.
But, we don't want to be them either. So, I'll find elements when I'm producing. I'll find stuff I really like. And then, I don't know, beyond that, I mean, I listen to stuff that's so far left field from what this is that I almost have to, remind myself to listen to EDM to kind of find what's going on again sometimes. But it creates a very different sound that we have.
Right. No, I completely understand. So when you're making your music, what is the message of your music? What makes your music different? There's so much, EDM out there. Living in Miami, I'm living right in front of Ultrafest, listening to it from my balcony every March. It was awesome. I didn't have to pay. But like, it was too loud. Like I would have my balcony like door shut. I could still boom, boom. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, right.
You know, but so I get to hear the best music from around the world right there in EDM. like, I want to make sure music like different. Like how does your music stand out, or what is the message? Is there a certain message that makes your music different in the EDM scene?
I'd say that my voice doesn't really go with your typical expected electronic music, because I am more of a blues R&B singer, and I don't think I could ever change that as hard as I try. And that was actually like the biggest obstacle getting into this. But it's just there. It's a part of me. And instead of fighting it, we just decided to embrace it. And I think that that's kind of what separates us, because we don't follow, you know, a specific blueprint for what we're making. We start with what we're doing organically at the core of it, and we just kind of build from there. And we surprise ourselves and, you know, do things that are very different without having to live up to these specific expectations. And, you know, we're putting it out there, you know, making something special, and we hope that people, you know, receive that well and you know, enjoy the music.
What is your favorite production you've done? What is your favorite track, your favorite song?
That always changes, and it's probably he just finished working on 2 new tracks this week, and we're just like, I came home and I started listening to it, and I was like, I am in love with this stuff. Like he grows as a producer every day, and it's shocking to see what he comes up with and how he's evolving. So it's just it changes from day to day. I mean, my personal favorite track is one of our favorites lyrically, and like just what it embodies is like a milestone for us. But as far as production goes, like I said, he just grows every day.
Oh, I love it. It's beautiful. Okay. So what do you think is the future of music? You've been in music for how many years? You said 5 years, right?
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
It's moving so fast. It's unbelievable.
That's what it is. I mean, I remember,
yeah.
I kind of started getting involved in the local scene, and North Jersey had a really thriving local post-hardcore scene when going back a bit. Mm-hmm. And, you know, people would go to these little church shows and all, and it was awesome. It'd be 100 people a night every Friday and Saturday, and you'll never get that anymore. So now you kind of almost have to become a major label artist before you even get any of that backing. You have to have perfect social media, perfect sounding songs, and a tight live set. You know, it's really, I think you become more of a business person if you're doing this right before you even put yourself out there, because you have to sell yourself first and foremost. I
completely agree. And do you share that same advice as well, Suzanne? Like everything.
And that's not where I shine. Thank God for him and what he's learned over the years, because, you know, he's not only been in different bands and projects, he's also managed them. And he's very in tune with the way that things have worked in the past and how they've progressed now in the future. So he's really on top of that stuff, and I'm just trying to catch up. But it's absolutely true. You do have to treat it as a business, because it's not, you know, your reputation and everything that you're working for is, you know, just kind of comes to a head. And when the time to present comes about and you don't have everything that you need, and you're not packaged in with a pretty little bow, it's just, you know, it's just going to set you back light years. And it's really, really important to be one step ahead of the game every time.
Do you think it's more important to be with a big label, or you think it's more important to be independent and just build your fan base?
I think I don't know if
it's very chaotic right now in the music industry.
I don't know if it's good or bad either way. I think it's whatever works best for you. I mean, you know, Macklemore is the exception to getting huge without a major label, but he has supported major people behind him. You know, I think there's a point where if you don't have a fan base, you need the funding to get out there. You know, radio promotion, distribution. It's a couple of years ago, Trent Reznor of Nine Inch Nails said he did an album himself. He had no idea how to get CDs to certain countries and all. And here's a guy who was 25 years deep, one of the biggest artists on the planet. So what do you do when you're not there? You haven't made these connections. Mm-hmm. You know, I think you just need to really be self-aware that there's no wrong path, but you can make wrong decisions on any of them.
Right.
So be careful, be smart. But, you know, try to find the good in anything that comes your way.
Yeah, when I speak to any of the artists, it's really important for them to have funding. It's whether they're independent, they get someone who comes in and is that funder for them, or a family helps them out, or a label invests in them. So you're right, it's a completely like individual.
Everything costs money, so it's,
it's like right.
You can do anything. I mean, you can buy onto stuff. You can buy a label. You can do whatever you want if you have the money there.
Right, you can even create. Yeah, so it's like.
So I mean, unfortunately, that's probably the biggest thing you need to get started is money.
Mm-hmm. What are the other like realities of the music industry that someone like that might surprise you, that someone new that comes in is like other than that it's a business?
That people don't have your back. It's very hard to, you're going to meet a lot of people that talk great. And I mean, I probably delete emails and phone numbers every 2 weeks from people who told me something great. Then they can't do it. They don't answer their calls, or they just want money, or they, it is what it is. That's part of the industry. You're going to have a lot of snakes in there. Anyone can talk big.
Yeah.
It's the actions that count. So, it's just watching your own back, which is tough to do, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. So our management right now is a breath of fresh air. We literally have 2 guys that are they're brilliant. They're compassionate about who we are and what we're doing, and they're 100% behind us and followed up on everything thus far.
We gotta thank Bobby and Cosmo right now.
Thank you guys.
That's awesome. So what is the future of music? Where do you think it's going? And what's your music looking like moving forward? Let's say the next 5 years.
We just always want to evolve. Ideally we'll have a lot more live instrumentation. I just recently got a violin. I'm hoping to learn that over the near future and incorporate that into our shows. Just a lot more of a live impact. Make it more of a show and a production rather than just being being fine with just listening to something on your stereo. You want more than that, and that there's going to be more of that with a live experience.
I completely agree. Making it more interactive, making it more entertaining, and more of a production.
Yeah.
That will make you stand out, because it is about your persona. It's about your style, your dress, your set, your production, and of course the quality of your music.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay. So what is your life philosophy? What keeps you inspired? What are maybe a couple of quotes that keep you guys moving and moving on up and staying positive? Because it's a tough industry.
I just love this too much. Music has really been my life for so long. My dad got me started young listening to The Who and the Beatles and all that great stuff. And
love the Beatles. Yes.
I just live and breathe music. So staying focused is easy. Staying positive can be tough, but I could not be chasing this, and then who knows where I'd be. So it's always more fun to be playing guitar or writing a new song or on stage, even playing to 5 people, than it is going to a day job I don't love. So
right.
Yeah.
So would you
definitely not 9 to 5 people, and that's the reality of that.
Right.
Art is everything in any form that it comes in any form that you could produce, and that's the kind of people that we are. We embrace it and hope that we could make a life for ourselves. We don't have to be I would not say the next Beatles, but don't have to be the next huge thing. But if we could touch a few people with our music and make a living out of this, we'd be very happy people.
That sounds really centered. That's really important. It's like you rather just pursue your life purpose and where it goes because you're happy versus, work in an office and maybe you're making, $1 million, whatever. Like you rather just do what you love and be happy.
Absolutely.
So, that's amazing. So, okay. So tell me about your current project. Tell me about your CD and
we're in it's really, I love the modern industry because it's so you're actually sitting in our studio. Our home is our studio.
Love it.
And that's, it's something you couldn't even do 10 years ago, really. But it's also exciting because we're going to hit the road in about 2.5 weeks, and I still have 3 songs to mix and master. But they're going to get done. That would never happen in a previous lifetime. So it's a scary challenge, but like it's really fun that I get to shape these sounds, and then immediately we can release them through our label, which is run by our manager Bobby Abden, Flash and Yellow Records. So he'll be putting it out for us, and we'll be playing the songs on the road very soon. So it's to go from the studio right to the stage the way we can is awesome. Gives me so much control. I can create new fun live versions when I feel like it. It's really cool that I have such control, and I think people are going to like what we're doing because it's familiar, yet I know no one's really heard the sounds that we have.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to hear it.
One of my best friends, he does a lot of big remixes on the radio, and he's all up on everything in this world, and he's always like, what are you coming up with? He doesn't, it's not his vibe, he just doesn't get it, but he knows it makes sense. So I know if I'm confusing him, but also catching his ear, I'm doing something right.
You know what? I'm always thinking about, like, we're in 2018, now 2019's coming, 2020. That's a whole new, like, decade of music. That's a lot of pressure, but like, that's amazing too. Like, where do you think that the new voice, the new generation, or the new, decade can be? That's a new voice of the generation. That's what I think about. I think like that. I'm like, yeah, I just have to, like, it has to be different. Music has to be different. It needs to.
It's always evolving.
It's getting there. It matters.
I think there'll be a return to analog instruments a little bit more. I think electronic will peak. Just this overproduction. I think there's a cyclical sense to this, personally. But you had the boy bands, and you had the pop punk emo phase, and EDM came in, and it all just kind of goes round and round sometimes. But we'll see.
Yeah, it does. So my final question for you, what is your legacy? What do you want your fans to remember about you at the end of your career?
Oh boy.
We were honest, this was, this music, I guess, in this industry, there's so much that is corporate side to it. People do feel disenfranchised sometimes with the way art is reproduced and pushed out there. I want them to know that no matter what we do, it came from an honest place.
We always want to keep it. We always want to keep it 100 with ourselves and with our fans. And if you can't do that, then what are we doing it for?
Absolutely. So I just want to share. Thank you so much for interviewing with me, CreativityMuze TV. And if you want to definitely visit them, definitely support them. How can they support you? What are your links? Where can they get your CD? What are your social media? What's all that?
The website is NOCHmusic.com, NOHC Music, and everything on social media is at NOCH Music, so it's pretty easy to remember us.
Very good branding.
Keep it simple, keep it the same, don't confuse people.
Okay, fantastic. And everyone, if you want to support us at Innova, please visit us at Patreon, CreativityMuze TV. Please subscribe to us on YouTube, CreativityMuze TV, and catch their interview on Let's Listen Radio. And catch them in LA. I mean, you guys are touring, right? So, I don't know.
Actually, the tour starts in June, and we'll be starting in Kentucky.
Kentucky. Okay, so anyone in Kentucky can go to your show there.
Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Ooh, that's close to me. I'm in Chicago. Where?
Hopefully New Orleans, too.
Unbelievable. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Have a beautiful day.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Fire. Thank you. Bye.
All right.